Hello everybody, I'm Lara and this is my channel Sewn by Lara. I'd like to welcome you here, and if you're new and happen to find your way here, welcome. This is a channel about sewing. I sew mostly garments, but I am known to toss in a quilt now and then because I've always got something on the go to keep me out of trouble and amused, and to kind of keep that creative flow going. So one of the things, I'm gonna move you just a little bit. There you go. So one of the things that I have been kind of working on the last 2 weeks since I got my serger back, and man, let me tell you, I think it's been 2 years since my serger got a tune-up. Yeah, it was pre-COVID, so maybe three. But wow, does it ever sound different? And does it sew differently? Not so much. I'm still having some of the same issues of it unthreading itself. But I'm getting more efficient at rethreading it, especially that lower looper. That's always a pain in the bum. But that now that I have that back, sorry for the planes in the background. Um, the apartment that I am renting is parallel to the runway. So the runway is owned by the Canadian military, and they rent it out to um, the civilian. WestJet and airline companies like that, as well as just the recreational flyers as well. So it's a nice Saturday. It's actually very clear out, and there's been a lot of traffic going as I've been kind of sitting here and working on some things. So apologize for the excess noise that you may hear. So back to what I've been sewing. Now that I've got my serger back, I have been working on some dress projects that I had going. And one of those is the Tallulah dress. And I've already talked about the Tallulah dress made out of an amethyst rib knit from Sitka Fabrics in Port Alberni. And I'll put in some stills so you can see it. And I really like the pattern, love the fabric, it's just gorgeous. I decided I liked it so much that I would make it again. This time I made it in a magenta knit. It's what's called a baby knit. So it's a very fine rib, not as kind of ribalicious as the fabric that I used in the first version. And this fabric I got from Fabricland at Christmas time. I got 5 meters, I think, because I wanted to make a turtleneck and like a straight skirt, and then a dress if I had a fabric left over, which I did. So I have made I've made the turtleneck using the style arc pattern, and if you look in my Instagram feed at Sewn by Lara, you should see that around the Christmas season, because that's when I would have been wearing it. Because the knit is a little bit dense, it's probably one of those garments that's going to be better for the cooler months. So you know late fall, winter, early spring. And the same with the dress. I think by the end of March I'm probably not going to be wearing the dress because it'll be getting too warm, but it's sure a comfortable dress. I think it's very sporty. It I don't know why. Maybe it's a little skirt, but it reminds me of a tennis dress. Not that I've ever played tennis or worn that kind of garment, but I think it is really cute. And there's part of me that wonders if this garment could be made out of a woven, because there's part of me that kind of can see it out of a cotton voile and with eyelet lace and things like that, and making it like very sweet and cool and pretty. Make it sleeveless, put on a V-neck instead of a crew neck, that kind of thing. The size that I made it in, certainly, I think it's roomy enough that you could do it in a woven. And the note I've made to myself here is if I make it again, I probably need to go down about 2 sizes, because again, I've lost a little bit of weight, and things weren't kind of fitting quite as good as they should in the shoulder and bust area. But that's my fault and not the pattern's fault. But it's a good pattern. It's a neat pattern in how it is made, and the little gathering piece that is done in a dart. And so you trace your dart out, and I can't remember if you gather it first and then you cut, and then you sew your dart. But the dart is essentially cut before you sew it. And so it could be kind of tricky for people if they're not kind of realizing the stages that it goes. Though the directions do say that, it's just I found myself going, and it took me a little bit until I realized it. And I made myself a little like template on paper, just to kind of practice, to make sure I had it right. And I figured it out. So that is the Cholula dress from Style Arc. And the fabric for the hot pink one is from Fabricland. And I'll put in some stills of both of them for you to see. So the last video that I mentioned, I said that I had just cut out the Style Lark Tia knit wrap dress, and I had cut that out of a designer shop fabric that was very, very bold. And actually I got it done in the same day. And reading my notes here, I have that it took me an hour to cut it out and 3 hours to sew it. Next time I would think it's probably only going to take an hour and a half to sew it. I had some interruptions, but B, it was the first time I had made the pattern, so I hadn't kind of figured out, what to do and where to do it. But now that I've kind of figured that out, it'll move a lot faster. Like once you know kind of that rhythm that you're supposed to do things in, I find the patterns go, and you can sew quite quickly through it. So this would be a dress that I would make again. Again, I like wrap dresses, but it's hard to find a good wrap dress because, I'm a little bit shorter from here to here. And so, trying to figure out, am I taking it in up here? Am I taking it in, along, this part of the bust area? And will it cross over enough in the front that I'm not saying hello with my girls? Or, likewise at the bottom, is it crossing over enough that I'm not flashing everybody? Or if a gust of wind comes and picks up the edge of the fabric, am I gonna show everybody what I'm wearing or not wearing underneath, right? So this one's really good because I didn't have to adjust anything. The the length of this worked wonderfully. They have a technique where you sew on a bit of elastic going down, and that's a really good tip to remember for any wrap dress, is that piece of elastic, because it just holds things close. So this wrap dress, they have this elastic that they incorporate into the bodice front, and I thought I would have difficulties doing that because my machine doesn't seem to like elastic, like the clear elastic. It seems to get stuck. But I had no problems doing it. I had no problems kind of folding it over and hiding it. It worked. It worked marvelously, and that's partly, a reason why it took 3 hours to sew, because I was going slow and careful to make sure that it was kind of bang on, right? Um, yeah. So the fabric, as I mentioned before, it's from the designer shop in Montreal. It's their French jersey, and again, it's lovely. And I think I'm going to make this dress again. It's one of my Make 9, actually, my first one of my Make 9 that I've done. Considering we're in June, I better get the pedal to the metal here. But yeah, I could see making this in some solid colors, because again, when you look at my closet, it's mostly patterned, and I do need to get some more solids in to just help flush out my closet and make it a bit more interchangeable and wearable. So that is the Tia knit wrap dress from Style Arc, and I would really recommend it. If you like wrap dresses, B, if you want a fairly simple, easy dress to make and toss on that will look suitable for any body type, she's a winner. There's elastic right through here and turned over, which keeps it nice and tight. As I said, I didn't need to adjust anything through here. The girls are here. There's the join, so I don't even have a snap there, because again, everything is well contained. So grown on sleeves, fit nicely, comes in. Got a belt, so there's the waist. My natural waist is just a little bit below, and you can use this belt here that they've given to add to it. And I'll step back so you can see a little bit more. So it comes just to where my knee bends. Here, I'll tilt you. Let me see if that helps you to see there. Yeah, there you go. So as you can see, lovely dress. So lovely, even material. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that striking? So glad I was able to get this from the designer shop in Montreal. Oh, yeah, it's yummy, isn't it? So, and if I want to dress it up, my plan is to put a navy blazer with it. That comes to about here. Again, keeping that, kind of hourglass shape. So, some other dresses that I worked on was Butterwick 5768. This is a semi-fitted dress, and it's a see and sew pattern. And I've had it in my collection for a long time. I think I bought it, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, because the sale price on it was $2.99. So that kind of gives you some indication of how long I've had it. But it's actually made for moderate, what do they call it? Moderate knits and wovens. But I've mostly made it for knits. all sorts of knits. It is supposed to have a zipper, but I've never done the zipper version of it. Anyways, back to this dress. I've never made it with a zipper in it. I don't need it. Again, I cut it out. You know, taking out that extra fabric that would have been used for putting in a zipper, and you know, facing and that kind of stuff. Um, so the first version I made out of this unicorn fabric that I picked up from Fabricland, and I can't remember whether I got it in Courtenay or in Langford, because both of them had it. It's in a soft peach, a little bit too soft for my liking, but I really like the unicorns. I found them really cute, and they kind of sucked me in. Um, my intent was to wear it with the, is it the Songbird um, cardigan from Pattern Emporium? Um, they've got like it's like a batwing kind of cardigan of various lengths that you can pull on over garments, and that I have it made in a brighter peach color. So I thought that I could put those two together, but unfortunately the lengths of both of them, they just don't quite work and look out of proportion. So I'll have to go back to the drawing board. The other kind of negative about this is I've lost a little bit of weight, so it's a little bit big, or bigger than I expected it to be, even with making a few, you know, modifications for that. Um, but the fabric itself, I think because it is so soft in its colorway, it looks like pajamas. And yes, I know people are wearing their pajamas, at least in Canada, out on the street. You know, it's not uncommon to see people wearing pajama bottoms on Saturday morning at the grocery store. Um, but I'm not that informal. So, um, yeah, I think I'll just wear this dress probably around home, and lounging at home, or make it pajamas. You know, we'll see. The other version I made, version two, is sleeveless, and again it's from a bit of a heavier cotton jersey. Again, picked up at Fabricland in Langford, and you'll see it's in a coral color, so it's, you know, stronger, which is more suitable for my coloring. And again, a little bit of fit issue in that it's, you know, kind of bagging up here. Here it fits better, but again, this upper part is a little bit off, so might have to make some more adjustments to that pattern. Just trace it out, and put some new changes on that, so that when I go to make it, I've got a few options to choose from, right? Because I don't know about you, but you know, my body is constantly changing, and it makes a difference if I'm working out and doing a lot of upper body. You know, I find that my chest wall will grow. You know, so right now I think I'm a 45 and a half upper bust measurement, but if I'm doing some of the weight workout stuff, it can go up to 47. And my bust, right now, I think I'm a 49. But again, my bust normally is a 51 and a half when I'm working out consistently. So that kind of gives you some indication of, you know, how much exercise can help change things. Now, if we start talking about lower parts of the body, menopause, right? And that is problematic. And, you know, part of the reason why I tend to wear dresses more so than pants, though I do wear pants, but you don't see me making them because just struggle with getting the fit right. Though eventually I will try to tackle it and see if I can get it. Anyways, in the meantime, dresses it is. So those are the dresses that I've been making. And coming along, I think next week, a few of the tops that I have been kind of working on in the closet behind me that you can see right there. I've got a whole bunch of stuff cut out and in Ziploc bags just waiting to be sewn up. And so that's how I'm going to spend the next few weekends and weeknights, just working on that and having some new additions to my wardrobe. Anyways, I wish you well. Hope you have a really wonderful day, night, weekend, midweek, whenever you happen to watch this. And we'll see you the next time. Bye.